Imagine spending millions of dollars using satellites, supercomputers, submarines, and some of the smartest people on Earth, and still having absolutely no idea what's going on. Even in 2026, our planet is hiding mysteries that scientists simply cannot explain. Some happen deep beneath the ocean. Some happen in people's own bedrooms. One even came from somewhere beyond our solar system. These aren't myths. They're real events that have been documented by experts. Yet no one has found a complete explanation. Some have been studied for over 50 years. Others were only discovered in the last few years. Here are 10 mysteries that science still can't explain. In 1997, underwater microphones operated by scientists picked up one of the loudest sounds ever recorded beneath the ocean. The microphones weren't even built for science. They were left over from a Cold War network designed to listen for enemy submarines. They called it "Oh." The sound was so powerful it could be heard nearly 5,000 kilometers away. Separate listening stations, an ocean apart, both picked up the same event. At first, many believed it had to be some kind of enormous unknown sea creature. The source was traced to the far southern Pacific, one of the most remote stretches of water on the planet. After all, no known animal could make a sound anywhere near that loud. The sound rose steadily in pitch over about 1 minute. Then it was gone. Others suggested volcanic eruptions, massive icebergs cracking, or secret military experiments. Years later, researchers concluded it was probably caused by ice breaking apart near Antarctica. An icequake, a crack tearing through an iceberg as it breaks away from the continent. But here's the catch. The exact sound has never been reproduced perfectly, which means some people still aren't convinced we know what really made it. Imagine lying in bed every night, hearing a constant low humming noise, but nobody else can hear it. Thousands of people around the world report exactly this. It's known simply as the The complaints go back at least to the 1970s, when hundreds of people in Bristol, England, reported the same noise. People describe it as sounding like a distant diesel engine. Others say it's electrical. And here's the strangest part. In any affected town, only a small fraction of people hear it at all. Some move houses and still hear it. Neighbors standing in the same room hear nothing. Scientists have suggested everything from industrial machinery to low-frequency vibrations to unusual hearing conditions. Some sufferers hear it only indoors, others only at night. Yet none of these explanations fit every reported case. Taos in New Mexico, Windsor in Ontario. Each town has its own version and its own failed investigation. For many people, the hum remains completely unexplained. Death Valley is home to one of the strangest sights on Earth. Huge rocks, some weighing hundreds of kilograms. The largest ever track weighed more than 300. Leave long trails across the desert floor. Some trails run for hundreds of meters. Some turn sharp corners for no obvious reason at all. The strange part? Nobody ever sees them moving. For decades, scientists were completely baffled. One team left cameras running in the desert for years and recorded absolutely nothing. Eventually, researchers discovered that under extremely rare conditions, thin sheets of ice, strong winds, and wet mud can slowly push the rocks. When it was finally caught on camera, the stones were creeping along at a few meters per minute, slow enough that you could stand and watch and see nothing happen. But this only explains some of the movements. Many trails remain difficult to recreate. Nature still keeps a few secrets. Most lightning lasts less than a second. But some people claim they've seen glowing balls of electricity floating through the air, passing through windows, even drifting through houses. Most descriptions agree on the details. A glowing sphere, roughly the size of a grapefruit, lasting only a few seconds before it vanishes. This phenomenon is called ball lightning. It's been reported by pilots, soldiers. Reports stretch back centuries. One 18th century scientist was reportedly killed by one during an experiment on his own roof. Scientists and ordinary people. The problem? Almost nobody has been able to study it properly. It appears without warning and it's gone in seconds. Scientists have recreated small versions in laboratories, and in 2012, a team in China caught one by pure luck. While their instruments happen to be pointed the right way, it remains one of the only real measurements ever taken, but no experiment fully matches eyewitness reports, which means nobody can confidently explain what ball lightning really is. You suddenly wake up. Your eyes are open. You can see your room perfectly, but you can't move. You notice something standing in the corner, watching you. This terrifying experience is called sleep paralysis, and it's far more common than most people realize. Scientists believe it happens when your brain wakes up before your muscles do. It usually lasts less than 2 minutes. People who experience it swear it feels far longer, but there's one mystery. People across completely different cultures often describe seeing almost the exact same shadow figure. In Newfoundland, they call it the old hag. In Japan, Kashibari. Different languages, different centuries, the same figure in the corner. What? No one knows? In 1977, a radio telescope detected an incredibly powerful signal coming from space. The telescope was nicknamed Big Ear, a football field-sized dish quietly scanning the sky for anything unusual. It lasted just 72 seconds. It was around 30 times stronger than the background hiss of deep space. Narrow, focused, exactly the kind of signal researchers had been hoping for. One astronomer was so surprised, he wrote one word beside the data. What? And that's still its official name today. Scientists searched the exact location again. Nothing. The signal has never returned. Telescopes have been pointed back at that patch of sky again and again for decades. It wasn't a satellite. It wasn't known interference. It wasn't repeated. Nearly 50 years later, nobody knows what caused it. Imagine sailing across calm water. Without warning. A wall of water over 30 meters tall appears. These are called rogue waves, taller than a 10-story building, and they can rise out of an otherwise ordinary sea. For centuries, people thought sailors were exaggerating. Ships vanished. Survivors described impossible walls of water. Investigators wrote it down as bad weather or bad memory. Then, on New Year's Day, 1995, an oil platform in the North Sea was hit by a wave, more than 25 meters high, and its sensors recorded every second of it. Until satellites finally captured them, scientists now know they're real. They can form when smaller waves stack on top of each other, or when a swell is squeezed by a powerful ocean current. But predicting exactly when and where they'll appear is still extremely difficult. Even today, it remains one of the ocean's greatest dangers. For decades, scientists believed oxygen could only be produced through photosynthesis. Sunlight, plants, algae, that was the whole story. Then researchers discovered something unexpected. Deep beneath the ocean, far beyond sunlight, 4,000 meters down in total darkness, certain mineral-rich rocks appear to generate oxygen naturally. Potato-sized lumps of metal scattered across the seabed, apparently splitting seawater all on their own. This discovery challenges ideas that scientists had held for generations. The first team to measure it assumed their equipment was broken. They sent it back to be recalibrated. Twice, researchers are still trying to understand exactly how it works. And there's a complication. Those same rocks are the ones mining companies want to harvest, and whether it could change what we know about life on Earth, or even life on other planets. The ocean covers over 70% of Earth's surface, yet we've explored less of it than the moon. Most of the seafloor has never been mapped in real detail. Hydrophones continue recording strange sounds from the deep. They've been given names. Shrine, slow down, upsweep. Some are eventually identified. Others remain unexplained. Upsweep has been repeating since 1991. Nobody has ever found the source. Many come from places humans have never visited, which raises an interesting question. How many discoveries are still hiding beneath the waves? Perhaps the greatest mystery isn't one event. It's how much we still don't know. Dark matter makes up most of the universe, yet nobody has directly observed it. It outweighs every star, planet, and galaxy combined, and every experiment built to catch it has come back empty. We don't know exactly how consciousness works. We don't know what came before the Big Bang. We don't even know if that question means anything. And despite all our technology, There are still questions without answers. 400 years of modern science, and the biggest questions are still wide open. Maybe that's what makes science so fascinating. Every mystery solved leads to another waiting just around the corner. Though, which mystery do you think is the creepiest? The unexplained sound beneath the ocean, the mysterious radio signal from space, or the shadow people seen during sleep paralysis? Let me know down in the comments. I read them, and the best ones end up in future videos. If you enjoyed this video and want more fascinating mysteries, science facts, and unbelievable true stories, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and remember, just because science hasn't explained something yet, doesn't mean it never will.